We're going to jump into these topics today, and hope you guys like and subscribe to our Rumble and YouTube too. It really helps us out, and follow us on Twitter and everything, and hit the thumbs up. It gets us into the algorithm. So we're going to talk about the new Silent Hill news that happened recently, and what you guys' thoughts on it?
I got a,
Seeing like the trailer and everything.
I
No.
got a lot of thoughts on
Yeah, I was
that.
about to say Aaron's probably ready.
I got a lot of thoughts for that. Firstly. All right, let me get what I like about it out the way before I talk about the whole transmission, that whole little live stream thing. What I like about the so far, from what I've seen anyway, um, it does look like they kind of captured the look of a Silent Hill town. It does like they definitely captured that from the looks of it. Um, no, it looks dead. You know how Silent Hill, the town of Silent Hill, looks like kind of like dead, like empty and everything. They definitely captured that part. So that's good. Uh, there's no way you can tell if the graphics are really up to par through a condensed video like that and all that shit. You have to look at it when the game come out, honestly, or through a not through a Twitter, a fucking Twitter video. You have to look at it through that, 'cause, like unless it's one of that 4K, it'd be hard to tell if the graphics really are that good or not, stuff like that. Um, I it sounds like they, from what they said on the transmission, that like they're really interested in keeping things like really true to the original while expanding on what needs to be expanded for a quote unquote modern audience. I do not know what that means when they say modern audience. In fact, I actually hate
yeah,
when they say that shit.
yeah, like yeah, like when
Normies.
yeah, like when we're seeing James kind of crawl through garages and stuff like that. That's very interactive because obviously from the original one, you couldn't
Nah,
do anything besides walk. Like all you do
yeah,
could
really.
walk in a path. Like
Exactly. Exactly. I'm a little worried about how much emphasis they'll place on combat, though. I'll say that because as you see this scene here and all that stuff, this scene here, um,
oh look at
I'll
that.
say that the original Silent Hill 2 wasn't like true too combat heavy. Combat was really just an ends to a means in that game. You knock the enemy down, you shoot an enemy, they don't stay dead and shit like that.
Oh wow, they
I
actually come. Look at that.
Yeah. I just hope they don't. I just hope that they don't fully emphasize the combat. You know what I mean? Like it look like they people are saying online that they just hope they're saying that it looks kind of more combat heavier. But I think it only looks like that because that's really all that that's a good part of what they're showing and stuff like that. They're really showing a lot of the combat. They're showing a lot of the combat, a lot of exploration and stuff like that, and a little tidbits of story here and there and everything. Um, I do a little bit of a slight spoiler when James gets locked in the hospital by the girl. Forgot what her fucking name, the little girl.
Oh,
When
Lana or
I
Laura,
think
Laura,
Laura, where he gets
Laura.
locked in the hospital room because of Laura back in the original. He's nice at first, but then he gets like really angry, like little brat, open the fucking door and shit like that. I don't like the way that he's like a little more calmer in that scene though. That seems like a real interesting choice. Like, who the fuck's gonna be calm in that
Oh,
scene?
like right there.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
there it is.
Who's gonna be calm in that scene? Like, you just locked me in here with a bunch of demons. Open the fucking door, little brat. But
Look at
he's almost
Laura though. She actually looks like a little girl. Like I mean, she looked like a little girl before, but like she definitely actually like that.
yeah, she
That
does. I know what you mean. She does like a.
yeah.
That's why one of the designs that actually like they actually I think is better than the original. Honestly, James he
Oh
looks.
yeah.
Granted, this is like a. I'm pretty sure this isn't in game.
No, this is cinematic.
Yeah, this is cinematic. This isn't in game. So his in game model might look a little different, but his cinematic model it looks par for the course. And people are saying like, oh well, he looks like Leon Kennedy. Well, no, he's just a generic white man. That's how he looked in the original. You know what I mean? Yeah, he did. He did.
Generic white man.
He
he,
did. He did. That's how he looked.
he
So
looked like a cracked out white guy.
he did. He did. I mean, he's going through a depressive mode. His wife is apparently alive, quote unquote, and all that stuff. So he's a little lost. But I I don't think I hope they just don't emphasize combat too much. 'Cause, like combat it was good for bosses and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it could be tweaked up here and there, combat and all that stuff. But I just hope that doesn't like take away from like the actual this. I just hope it don't take away from stuff like this. You know what I mean? I would like for Ambo. It is a survival horror game. I would like for ammo to be not plentiful, but if ammo is going to be plentiful, make it to where the enemies are like the enemies are more of a problem. You know what I mean?
Right,
Stuff like
right,
that.
right.
So like don't have it be too all action packed and all that stuff. And I think unfortunately, in a day and age where Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil in general is now setting like setting the standards for remakes in general. You know how good Resident Evil 2 remake was and how good Resident Evil 4 remake was, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. Now people are going to be like comparing it all the time to those two games, stacking it up with that, rather than trying to see how it stands on its own merits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
that will be a. I don't know if that'll be a problem. I mean, Resident Evil 4 remake is a really good remake. Resident Evil 2 remake is a good reimagining, as I say. Because I got problems with it as a remake, but it's going to be compared to those nowadays,
Right.
and that's unfortunate because like with Silent Hill back in the day, like I don't know what people know this, but the creator of Resident Evil, Shinji Mikami and stuff like that, the director of the series, he always looked towards Silent Hill as like in some cases he thought of it as superior to Resident Evil because it always scared the player. Its first and foremost mission was to scare the player, get the player into a particular feeling and stuff like that. And Resident Evil kind of lost its way on that, like right after. I'm gonna say right after Resident, well, actually during Resident Evil 4, honestly, because as good as Resident Evil 4 original was, there's not a single time I was scared during Resident Evil 4 original. Silent Hill as a series has always kept up with the whole creepiness factor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right, that's a good
Resident
point.
Evil seemed like it's getting back to it, but what you say, Don?
Oh no, that's a good point because Resident Evil, like you said, it took like a more action route after around like four or so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
instead of like keeping that horror factor, where Silent Hill took a lot of influence from like horror movies like Jacob's Ladder.
Stuff like that,
So
exactly. But like
yeah,
Resident Evil eventually got back to it with Resident Evil 8 and all that stuff. Regardless of your feelings about the game, at least not my bad. Resident Evil 7, it got back to that with 7 and 8 to an extent, and dipped more to the action side with 8. But I just hope that um we are judging it based off of what it's trying to be a Silent Hill 2 remake. You can juxtapose it to to Resident Evil 4 remake, and this is like the current remake and all that stuff. You can compare it to that, but like just make sure you're judging it on its own merits first and foremost,
Right.
and that's as a remake of Silent Hill 2. The team behind it, I think Blooper Team, they don't have the best track record, honestly. That if I when I looked up their stuff and everything, they don't. The track record actually is quite frankly atrocious. So I mean,
Ooh.
we'll see. It is. Like, you gotta look it up, Nick. You gotta look it up. The track record as a developer is like honestly dog water. But it just seems okay
dog
enough.
water.
It seems okay enough and stuff like that. I
Yeah, just
don't.
to get their feet wet,
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Right, right. I don't like the fact that he can sneak by people though. I don't like the
Yeah,
fact.
like I was about to say
I don't
because
like
I
that too
mean during
much.
the original, like
There
you
was
won't-
no
you
sneaking
could you
by.
could yeah, I was about to say as soon as you pass
Yeah.
by them, they're gonna fucking go at you, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna go at and the whole thing
Yeah.
is it's not Resident Evil. So like he has to, metaphorically speaking, within the story, right? You played the game and stuff.
Yeah.
He has to face these fears. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just hope there's no like there's no like any stealth scenes or some shit like that. I had you play as Laura or some shit and do some stealth shit.
I
I
will
hope
I
not.
will say that they made the enemies a lot more lifelike because I was gonna say there's been times where and I'm streaming it currently right now on Rumble, but when I'm actually fighting the nurses or any type of enemy in the game, like it's so easy for me to just walk right by them, just no problem. Like they'll see me, they'll attack me, but it's almost like I could just run right by them. It doesn't seem like you can get away with that in this in the remake because
Right.
now it feels like you actually have to fight not every single enemy, but in the hallways of the apartment complexes or the hospitals, like they almost feel like you're kind of forced to actually fight the enemies.
Yeah,
Like
making the
there's
enemy more of a threat is good.
right,
That part is good. I will
right.
say also I noticed something that I don't think nobody else noticed, or maybe you did notice, Nick, was that due to the change in perspective, we can now see the hospital signs in the hallway.
Oh
So
my,
there won't be
yo,
a
you
need
could
to,
never.
no, exactly. So there won't be a need to open that map every 20 seconds. You know what I mean? There won't be a need for it and all that stuff. I mean, if you got good memory, then you don't need to open the map every 20 seconds. And shit
Oh
like
no
that.
no no! I have to pull up every time I go because it was the fixed camera angles that
Yeah.
made it a little more difficult because even if you're going down a specific hallway, you don't know if you're actually going in the right path sometimes.
Right, exactly. So that this new perspective does help in that regard. It does help in that regard. But I mean, like, but we'll see. We'll see. Like,
But
if weapons are going to be plentiful, I would like for it to be like, yeah, don't have them like, have them be weak, have them be like very strong. These weapons, they're not real creatures. Essentially, they're really like kind of like in his head, so to speak. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So like, it
yeah,
makes
like
sense that he would.
psychological.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes sense the weapons wouldn't do too much. I know I did like how they didn't show nothing of Pyramid Head. Keep that man a secret. I would like for him to be like. I just hope they don't make him a stalker enemy like they did with fucking Mr. X and Resident Evil 2 and shit like that. That's
Yeah,
what they don't make.
no, that
I
takes
do not
away
want.
no,
Yes, that's what I was saying.
because
Man.
that wasn't like this, and that was completely different in this franchise because
Exactly.
he wouldn't follow you. It would just be randomly times where he's actually, like on the
Right.
on the third floor of apartment
That part was
complexes.
fucking scary too.
Like like him standing by the bars and just watching you, like it's crazy. Like
Yep.
you're never expected of his appearance, and I like that. It really brings immersive like to horror. It's really immersive.
Exactly.
So
And my problem with Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 was one that he stole Nemesis' whole stick, first of all, and secondly, it was that he became an annoyance rather than scary. He became really annoying rather than scary. I don't want that for Pyramid Head in this one. If that, like you said, they could just keep it to where it's like make it real. Just keep it in line with the original. Have him appear a little bit more, stuff like that. That's all cool and everything like that. I was taken by surprise when he appeared in the hallway chasing you and Maria that one time. I don't know if you remember that in spoilers. But I was surprised when he was doing that when he appeared in the hallway. I don't know if you remember that part, Nick, when he was chasing you in the hallway and Maria was right behind you. You hear
yeah,
you
and
hear
then
dragging like and you took like what's that?
yeah, and then I think I think he hopped on the elevator right afterwards, and that's when
that part, stuff like that. If we can keep it like that, man. Honestly, I don't even like the fact that they even showed this. I think they're giving away too much for like new players and everything.
Oh yeah, I think that's like a statue or something.
It's a
here.
statue, but like now people are like aware of that shit.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, he's like a big part of pop culture, so he's like a well-known character anyway. But
yeah,
I get
maybe
you
I'm
saying
getting too
that
much
immersion,
asshole on that.
right? Yeah, that's a good point though, because I was saying that about the original one. Like, I hope they don't make it too bright, whereas like the original one is like more darker in certain areas.
Yeah,
And
that's important to it, dog. I'm talking about
yeah,
like there's so many things that could
well,
possibly fuck
you
up,
could see that they gave more light now. Now there's definitely more light because before it was always like foggy, really nighttime. So now we're seeing sun. I feel like they had to add some kind of brightness to the world because we never could have figured out where the hell we were at, what was going on.
Exactly.
You see like look at the old one. It's like I mean, yeah, it gives you like your own kind of like a strict path,
Right.
which I mean makes sense. Obviously, we're trying to get to point A and point B, but I think what they want us to do now with this remake is actually take in a lot of the background and actually observe the city, get a little more background stories. You know what I mean? Like I think they really want us to really take in the scenery and actually interact with some air because I mean we're crawling underneath garages now. We never was able to do that or break car windows. You know what I mean? Like
right. So here's the first mistake, low key. Pause the video real quick. Honestly, here's the first mistake with the remake. One, how they introduce this enemy in this one is better than they did in the remake.
Yeah, no,
it is.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see the remake. The remake was.
So that's already the first mistake on that one.
Let's see the remake.
I'm guessing this is supposed to be the scene. This is the scene that like replaces that, right?
Yeah, that he bursts through the wall.
Yeah,
right,
he bursts through the wall and everything. So already, it's not quite as creepy. You know what I mean? Just
I wonder why I wonder why they added that though.
I don't know.
Like, see, like what, like how is the original was better because you actually went through a tunnel and you can hear the sound, everything before you approach the tunnel.
Yes.
So it actually spikes your suspicion and obviously the horror aspect
Yeah,
of it. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
why I don't understand why they took this approach.
I know. I did. This is the. I'm not. This is guys. I'm not being. I'm not trying to be down or some shit like that. But I just feel like from a creative standpoint, I'm not too sure why they changed that scene.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
if they change this scene, then we're probably going to see some extra new scenes in the game that we didn't
Oh
get to
yeah.
see
Oh
before.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like this is the right now I think we're looking at the buildings. I think we're going to be approaching the what is this, the apartments, I think.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wonder how the streets are going to be. That's what I'm saying. Like there's sunlight out there, but you still don't even know where you're going. So I think in the
Yeah,
new,
yeah, man.
in the remake, yeah, this is where you get the key to the apartment complexes.
Yeah, I feel like as long as they're able to like so like kind of like keep the fog is clearly there in the remake. The fog is there.
Right.
That's not a problem. The fog is there. I think what we're
Yeah.
seeing is just the natural graphical evolution of the series, so to speak. So just it's not gonna be ever omnipresent and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Right.
but there's no, the original did fog well too. So like it's gonna come, it seems like it's going to come down to whether you like the creative differences that they did, the creative choices that they did. They took liberties and stuff like that. It's kind of like
Yeah.
that's what it's going to come
Yeah,
down to.
yeah, they kind of, I don't know if they're like depending on like kind of some like they're kind of depending on a little bit of cinematics to kind of get through the scenes a little bit.
But
And I really don't want them to do that because I do feel like that's going to take away from the experience. Like in my
right, because like so
see,
much
like,
of the
right,
fitness
see-
was done through gameplay in the
see,
original. You know what I
see,
mean?
see, like why do
Right.
we need to look at the health packs? Like I don't really care for that. I want to just pick.
I
You
don't
see what
care
I'm
for
saying? Like I think I just want to pick it up and then put it in my pocket like the original did. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
exactly.
I don't know why they're focusing up on some things like that because I feel like that takes away from the experience. Like
I
right
mean, it's to
now,
make sure the newbies know what the hell it is.
see,
man.
like see, they really
hold
want
your
you to
hand.
start reading and understanding the items, and I get that part. You see, like now we have the map, and he's actually Xing. Like I think he
Yeah.
did that. I think he did that in the original too,
you
where
didn't
if you
see him do it, but he did it.
He did it,
actually
right.
He did it. Yeah.
yeah. He did it a little bit, but again, like you see, you really didn't get like that, and that's why they look like dog shit, like the cinematics, because they really didn't care too much for the cinematics. They really wanted you to actually play the game.
Right.
You know,
they want you to be creeped out through the actual gameplay, and it
Yeah.
definitely helped. It
and then
definitely
and
helped.
then and then we get Laura with no eyebrows, but it's okay. You know what I mean?
No, it's fine. I never noticed she didn't have eyebrows.
Like
It's probably, she probably do have eyebrows, but it's just blonde, so it's hard to see. She has like blonde eyebrows.
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe so. No, listen, man. Them PS2 era CGI scenes, they want the best, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something had to go. But I guess
I don't even know what
I
Eddie
think-
looks like in here too. We still don't even
Right,
know.
they didn't show us Eddie. But my thing is though,
Eddie scarfing down some pizza.
yeah, right. They
going up.
didn't show us that.
Yeah, I showed him that part in
Oh, you
the.
showed him that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. But like, I think I hope they keep the music in touch. No, because the music
Yes.
is good the way it is. honestly. I
Yes.
don't
If
think
they
we'll
replace,
need
I'm telling you right now, if they replace the bowling alley, I swear to God,
God.
I'm gonna just call Konami up and just say, what are you guys doing?
What the fuck was you thinking? I hope not. I really hope they don't replace the
Because
music.
the most iconic places, and that's why I feel like they had to show the hospital because you spent a great deal of the game
Yeah, you do.
in the hospital because you go through and I was just telling Don this. I was like, you go through all the fucking rooms, you do the puzzle with that you have to attach the paper clip to the fucking thing to get
That one was crazy.
yeah, that was crazy. Like that, it was crazy. So I feel like they had to focus up a lot on the major part, the apartment complexes, the hospital, the jail, the jail underneath the thing.
The jail, the jail
jail is
underneath the
crazy.
jail. Yo,
I
that's gonna be a crazy.
I want to know I want to know that big room, that big room.
yes. Where they add some? Oh, okay. But I think, but before we even get off of this, I do think we do need to talk about if the faces look really that much horrible than the originals. Everyone's going on Twitter talking. That's been a big thing. So, do they really look that bad? I mean, compared to the originals. Now, granted, Silent Hill 2 on PS2 is a PS2 game, an early one at that. So I don't expect CGI to look that amazing. Honestly, early PS2 game. So I mean, does the faces look that much hard? And they talk, the one they list is damn how did I beat this game and then not remember her fucking name? It's the woman you meet at the graveyard. What's her name? She's like really scared and
Oh,
everything.
this one.
There you go. So I see jokes about oh yeah she got fat, you know, she
Yeah,
died,
yeah,
yada
no,
yada.
yeah. She
But
she
does
went
she
to
look
the.
that much worse? Let's be honest. Does she look that much worse?
No.
Not that, no, not too bad. It's
Because
just
she
they.
is supposed to be a 19-year-old girl in the story,
Yeah, no,
but
she looks like
she
she's
don't
like
look 19
30,
in either
but
of them, honestly.
she looks like she's
Right.
30. She
Yes, she
definitely
does.
did put went to the corner store and bought some chips.
I went to
Um,
the
and then
bottom
I feel
shit.
like they definitely had to give her some more eyebrows because I
Oh
guess
yeah.
Yeah,
eyebrows
they
is.
emphasized the eyebrows or
Yeah,
something. Maybe.
they gave her way too much eyebrows, but
Got Rock Lee
no,
over
like
here.
yeah, I don't know. I
Broccoli.
like the original. I like the original. I think the
I
original was
will say
cool
that. I
too.
will say.
And she
I
looks a
don't
lot
got a
more.
problem with
She looks a
Maria.
lot more younger than the actual like the one we have now.
Yeah, she
You know?
does look a lot more younger.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
That's
like.
another thing too. The Silent Hill, they changed the director for this remake too. I just searched it up. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, that's
really?
interesting. So like the creative, so they might be doing like some, like you guys were saying earlier, some creative liberties, adding stuff to it from
Right,
the
right.
original. So I guess we see how that turns out.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, like Maria even looks somewhat different, not too much. I mean, when did she get that
Actually, I think
tat?
she looks better. I do. I think she.
Did she
It
always
could be.
have
It
that
could.
tattoo? I know she had a tattoo on her stomach,
I
I
believe
think.
she did. I believe she. I
Okay.
don't remember, but I do say. I will say.
See, look, I think they changed.
I think
Look,
Maria's cool.
they changed the placement. It was actually right here. It was.
They did. Okay, they
Yeah,
did.
they put it up here now. I don't know why. That's more appealing, I
Because
guess.
she has no. Because she has more clothes on.
Oh,
That's
oh,
why. They had to show the tattoo and everything. But like, I mean, yeah,
that's
funny.
fake. That's
That's
fake.
fake. It's literally an
Yeah,
actual lie.
this is the real one. Yeah, this is. I don't know why they put it up here. Who
But
cares?
I think I say I want to say she looks better in the remake, but this is PS2 era CGI, so you know we have to see. We have to see.
I would say, I'm agreeing a lot with Aaron too. I really want to hope and see like it seems like we're kind of seeing a lot more of interaction with the sceneries, the items. They really want us to take time to understand like the game, versus before it was actually just finding books, reading maps, reading notes from obviously people that left over. So, I mean, we did get somewhat of a background story, but now I feel like they really want us to interact with a lot of things. So it really takes time. It really gives a good entry to new players, I guess you would say, people that haven't wasn't able to experience the original Silent 2.
Right.
Silent Hill 2.
Right.
So I am pretty excited for it. I do like again, there's some parts I'm a little nervous about with the acting. The character models for me, it doesn't really bother me too much. I mean, we kind of suspected that they were gonna like Aaron said that ever since that Resident Evil 2 remake came out, I think this was gonna kind of set the motion for a lot of remakes to kind of go in that path, and that's kind of why you could compare it to Resident Evil and all the Resident Evil remakes because it kind of plays like it just a little bit, obviously.
It seems like it's taking that route, and I'm not sure how to feel about that yet.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see how it turns out. I just hope that they don't change too much and kind of take away the horror aspect of it because horror games now are, I mean, it's a thing of the past. I don't even think there's horror is still a thing, and obviously there's a lot of the indie horrors, but have we seen horror on a massive scale to this point? No, we haven't. I mean, we have Resident Evil, and then what else can you think of Resident Evil?
Exactly.
There's silence in the room, so I really feel like I really do feel like there's not a lot that you can sit there that's on a massive scale like this, right?
Probably Dead Space, like
Dead Space was a remake, though. Yeah, it's a remake, but I'm saying like a new IP to where you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I know this is a remake, but I'm saying like you don't really have besides Dead Space that what else is really there, and that is I mean, I think Dead Space is psychological somewhat, not really, because it's kind of just
it's a mix. It's a mix.
it's a mix, yeah.
Because the fucking monolith, whoever the fuck it is fucking.
Yeah, but this is like
fucking
traditional classic horror where there's a lot of
psychological.
Yeah, and we don't really have too much of that. So I honestly think I'd really hope that they do a good job when it really comes to, you know, a lot of people are really depending on Konami to really bring back. I hope they just didn't do this for money, to be honest. I mean, obviously it is it is obviously centralized around that. I mean, obviously they want to do this for profit, but I just really hope that they took time, and it kind of seems like they did, because you could watch a lot of behind the scenes of them kind of explaining like how the process was, and a lot of creativity that goes into it, because I really had no idea how big this game was back in those times. I was 5 when this game came out. But it really was a big, massive impact on PlayStation 2. It's actually critically acclaimed one of the best PlayStation 2 games of all time. Yeah.
Period.
Yep. So I do think that there is a lot of pressure behind the expectations of this game, and I really do hope that they execute it properly. They are saying they took time on this, which we have plenty of time with all the fucking setbacks that we've been waiting for a release date. So I'm just hoping that they haven't changed so much. They haven't changed too much. They keep their traditions, and I'm ready to rock and roll and play this game. I just want to hope. I just want to hope and see that once we finish this game, they didn't change a lot. What is going to be the next thing? We'll enjoy this for right now, but will they make a part 3? Will they continue the series, or was this kind of like a one and done type deal?
Well, we do know we got the Silent Hill F and the other Silent Hill they're working on.
Right. So this is a test run to see how would this perform. Yeah, how would this perform versus everything else they got going on in the future? Because this one could be great. F can flop. Yeah.
Possibly.
So I'm excited. I mean, obviously, I really just want to play it. I wish I could play it tomorrow.